Good afternoon, Santa Clarita, and everyone else streaming around the world. You're listening to the Unreality Show. On the show, we talk about all the dysfunctional behaviors in TV reality show, and we learn from them. We try to learn from some of the behaviors and all the spats and the arguing and all the dysfunction that goes on in relationships. We can actually take a reality show, and instead of being disgusted by it or turned off by it, we can actually learn from it. And you know, they talk about art imitates life and life imitates art. This is a reality show. They're really showing us these people that apparently are real. I don't think they're real. It kind of seems like there's a little bit of over exaggerating and acting a little bit further and taking a little further to get people hooked. But I'm choosing to see them and learn from how can I not be that? How can I not show up like that in life? My name's Alex Urbina. I'm a transformational life coach. Sitting in studio with me is the co-owner of the radio station here at KHTS, Jerry Cerati Goldman, and we have Ellen Tunick. Thank you, ladies, for being here. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
So today we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of New York. Now, do you guys love this show, or are you just hooked on it because of why?
Actually, this is not one of my favorites. I think maybe because it is New York, and I'm a West Coast girl.
Yeah, West Coast.
West Coast.
But we love the East Coast, though.
To visit.
Yeah, and then we come back to the sun.
I don't think I could live there, but it's a little harder for me to relate to the lifestyle and the society part, because they all do things, high society, this, that, and I don't really relate to that. So I'm really, when I do watch it, I'm really looking at almost what I see as caricatures versus people. However, I really like Bethany Frankel. I could take all the other ones and it wouldn't, I don't really care for them. We take Ramona. Something's wrong with that chick. Something seriously wrong with her.
What do you mean by that when you say that? What do you mean?
There's literally because I used to love the show when it first came out. I watched it religiously, but she was the one person that I almost would have to fast forward something that she does or how she is. Sets something off in me where I literally have to fast forward through Ramona moments.
All right, so I'm gonna take that as a coaching opportunity. You ready? And I'm gonna do it with some sharing. When I was younger, in my maybe late 20s, early 30s, I was working at a business, and I was still doing transformational work and still in my own journey and growth and being coached and mentored. And I remember one time there was this doctor I was working with. He was actually a chiropractor, but he walked around the office with his chest and his shoulder up, and he thought he was King Arthur, right? And we both got to the printer one day, and I heard of him, but I never really met him. But we met at the printer one day, and he was just real arrogant and just kind of spoke down to me. And I remember walking away just thinking to myself, what a jerk. And I remember having a conversation with my coach, and I remember being frustrated and venting it out. And what he said to me was, that guy's there to teach you a lesson. And I said, what's the lesson I got to learn from that? And he goes, his arrogance is the arrogance that you don't like in yourself. And I thought about it for a minute, and I go, okay, talk to me some more. And he goes, when you become arrogant, you don't like that part of you. And he's there to show you how you show up arrogant to other people. That experience that you have where you're being turned off by his arrogance, that's how you're turning off other people when you're being arrogant. And I stood there like just dumbfounded, like,
Yeah.
And I never really thought about it like that. So from that moment forward, every time I find somebody that turns me off or that annoys me or bugs me, I look at them and I go, what about them that I have that I turn people off when I'm being like that? So let's say if I'm with somebody that's always complaining or always being the victim and poor me or gossiping, I get to look at them and go, what part of them that when I'm being that, I'm turning other people off the way that I'm experienced being turned off by that. So I want to share that with you and open that possibility for you to look at Ramona and go, what is it about Ramona that I can identify with me, that the part of me I don't like being? And she's there to teach you and to remind you that every time you're being like that, that's how you're turning other people off, the way you're being turned off by Ramona.
I'm going to have to really think about that.
What would it be, though? I want you to think about the question.
I know.
What part of her turns you off? Snub?
No.
Snobbish?
No.
What's the word that we're trying to find?
Crazy? She has a look in her eye. She doesn't listen. Just found it.
And for me, before I started getting coaching many years ago, I would have been very judgmental about her. And now I actually feel sorry for her because I feel that there's a piece missing in the heart. There's something missing in her being that creates sometimes ugly monster coming out of her.
A lot of ugly monster, a
Yeah.
lot of times coming
Yeah.
out in her.
Right. So I now am more compassionate of what is she lacking in her life that makes her show up that way. It's kind of like Bethany. Bethany does those like just dingers that just cut right through you.
Isn't she clever?
She is, but to me, there's something that I once again am very compassionate. And in the show, that she had a bad relationship with her mom and didn't have a childhood.
Her journey was
Right.
pretty awful.
Right, and then she created that with her husband, and now she's going through, the chaos. She had chaos in her life.
Yes.
And now she's created that same chaos in her adult life, times 10
Where'd you learn how to shift into that compassionate mode?
from you.
So let me tell you how that came about. And I teach all my clients this. Find people that are very annoying to you and try to put yourself in their shoes and just figure out what they could possibly have gone through in their life in a traumatic way. Some people are molested when they're kids. Some people are abused. Some people don't get to be seen or heard or recognized, mentally or physically or emotionally tainted. And we walk around with these dysfunctions and we put these masks on to try to be something or somebody in the world. But deep down inside, they're lost and broken. And we don't ever choose that perspective. We choose to look at someone and make a judgment and go, oh my God, you're crazy, you're weird. Look how, and it takes a higher level of consciousness to stop and go, wow, if you're at that level, if you're so desperate that you're got all these masks and you have all these dysfunctions, I feel sorry for you. So the way that you unhook yourself from being tagged or annoyed or angry at somebody is to shift into that compassionate part of you and find and see the lost, broken little boy or little girl in somebody that's desperately trying to get approval from the world.
And there's no question with that perspective that Ramona is a broken soul.
Yeah.
And that is sad.
Yes.
That's
So
very
so
sad.
choose that perspective to be able to have you get off of being
Fast-forwarding?
her taking your power
You'll still fast
or
forward.
getting tagged by it. But more importantly, have all the Ramonas in your life. See them like that. And you'll free yourself up from giving up your power and getting angry or annoyed or disappointed in people, because we all got flaws. We all have some kind of dysfunction in us, and we're all on that journey on our own to figure out how to heal ourselves.
Well, it's interesting because when that came up for me about not being heard, and that's why she's so in your face and loud and a little over the top.
And she probably creates drama,
She does.
right?
She does create drama.
But that's what those people do,
Right.
Because they've never had the attention. They go around and they
seek it.
They start little fires everywhere, and they go, "What? So what are we talking?"
But I can remember as a child, I grew up, my parents were old-fashioned, and it was children are seen and not heard. And that was prevalent in my house. There wasn't a lot of what do you think? There wasn't a lot of, they were loving and kind and all that, but this was the way they were brought up, and so this is how they parented. And I had a big mouth. I still have a big mouth. I had a lot of opinions, still have a lot of opinions. So when I got in my relationship with Ron, and there would be these moments where I was trying to have a discussion and I knew he wasn't being present, I got very triggered in feeling invisible. I don't like to feel invisible. It's a sad place for me. Don't like it. And so now I have to make sure that he's in a spot, if it's important to me, if he's in a position, can you listen to what I'm saying? It's really important to me. And if he says, can you wait a minute? Can you wait 5? Yeah, okay, that's fine. Instead of just talking about it and then feeling horrible because I was feeling invisible.
And I acknowledge that that's the stage you're at right now, is to figure out how to get him to see you. However, I can't wait to the day where I get you to acknowledge for yourself how amazing you are, to where you don't seek the attention to be seen, that you just know who you are and you see yourself. That's an
That sounds so peaceful.
That's an extraordinary feeling, to be able to not need the attention or approval or seeking of anyone else that's outside of you, because you already know who you are inside of you. It's like you don't go around reminding people that you're women, I'm assuming, correct?
Correct.
Why?
Because we just are, and we're good with it.
Because you know you are. It's a deep knowing. And when there's a deep knowing, you don't have to go around and go, hey, I wonder why you haven't asked me what sex I am. Or I wonder why you haven't, in case you're wondering, I'm a woman. You don't have to go around and tell people what you are, because you knowing who you are and what you are is enough, correct?
Yes.
So imagine getting to a point where you love yourself so much and you accept yourself so much, and that you know who you are, that you stop seeking it externally. Now, this could be an advanced level of consciousness that I'm talking about, but I want to paint that picture where that's where I see you one day. But at the journey you're at right now, it's natural to say, hey, I need you to hear me. When I'm in a relationship with someone that I love,
it's important that you hear me.
That's right. Right now, it's valid for you to say, when I speak, I got into a relationship with you. I married you so that we can have this ongoing relationship where I speak, you hear me, and when you speak, I hear you. It can't be a one-way street.
Right.
But I wanted to paint that there's different levels to get to that point. Hopefully, we'll get you through that second level fast, and we'll get you up to that.
That level took me a long time, and I'm still there.
Well, I think we're all still in the journey of remembering every day
it's very
who we are.
different depending on who that is. In other words, at this point in my life, I have a certain need to be heard and recognized by my husband. I have a certain need to be heard and recognized by my kids. By my employees, every little grouping in my life, there's a special little need inside that says, hear me. What I have to say, I hope, is important to you, because it's important to me.
Yeah, let me explain why. Imagine everybody is a mirror. And we talked about this earlier in my show earlier on My Conscious Dad with Jasmine. She was sharing in the show how I was really excited about this part of my book, and I wanted to share it with her. And she saw me walk. She said, Dad, I saw you like a little kid, and I was the mom. And you came in, and she goes, I was in the middle of doing something that I was focused on, and you were sharing how your excitement. She goes, I literally had to stop what I was doing, put it down, and turn to you and watch the joy in your face, because what you needed in that moment was to be heard and recognized and validated for what you were sharing with me.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so what happens is that we're in relationship with people because they're our mirrors. If I have something I'm excited about and I want to share it with you, and I go, hey, can I meet with you? I want to stop by. And you go, yeah, come on over. I'm here. And I come in. As soon as I walk in the door, what I'm looking for is for you to mirror my own excitement. I need to share that with somebody so that I can know what excitement feels like. Imagine if you were excited and you had no one to share it with. How would you know what it feels like to feel excited?
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
You need to bounce off your emotions and your feelings with other people, and they need to mirror it back. So if I'm excited right now and I'm talking to you and sharing with you, what's your face look like? Yeah.
I'm lit up.
Yeah. She's lit up.
Well,
in
you
my
pick up the energy.
Right. But I need her to mirror back my excitement so I can go, all right, I'm getting the validation that what I just got or what I accomplished was worthy and valid. So we need that. And it's part of our journey until the point where you don't need it anymore. Now, that could be in a lifetime, or it can never come.
Never be.
But the journey is getting to that place that where I can get to the point where I either don't need it as much, or that I see how valuable it is to be that mirror for other people. What a great gift when you need it less, but you realize how much other people need it, so you turn around and you start mirroring other people.
Is that not kind of part and parcel in learning how to truly be present?
You have to have mastered the art of being present
before you get there.
at to the 7s, 8s, and the 9s. If you're really checked out and unconscious and unpresent at a 3, it's going to be challenging for you. So you do have to master the art of really being present, really being in the moment. And a lot of times, like, Jerry's a good friend of mine. I'll come in, I'll have some great news, and I'll be sharing it with her, and because she's doing 10 different things, and I'll just flat out tell her, can I have your attention now? And she'll go, sorry, stop. But we have permission to call each other on that,
right.
And vice versa. Like, I could be doing something and she can go, hey, I got something really exciting. Can you put your phone down for a moment? And that's what's cool, is having that kind of permission to talk to each other like that and not take it personal,
and
right?
not take it personally.
Absolutely, yeah.
But that same show, you saw Tinsley and Ramona and Sonia going to a bar.
Yes.
And acting like buffoons, but talking about not having your tank even there. Remotely even there. So the last couple years, my coaching with Alex has been getting my own tank full. And some of my issues were Carl wasn't seeing me and appreciating me for working long days and doing the things I was doing here at the office, or doing what I was doing at home, or whatever it might be. And
getting the recognition,
going out to play, going out for an evening to play and looking really pretty, and him not even saying anything. I would get upset. Well, now there's no getting upset. I know that I work hard. I know that I'm pretty. I know that I'm enough, and I don't need that. So now that I know, it's such a great gift from him when he does say, oh my gosh, you look great, that it's like, wow, it's a gift.
Like a bonus.
It's beyond the icing on the cake for me.
And on top of that, I'm not trying to discredit what you're saying. There's moments where we still need it, including me.
Absolutely.
There's still moments that I need it, but I need it less than the average person. The average person might constantly have this empty void where we're searching for attention, and we're searching to be validated, because we never got that when we were kids.
Well, not only did we not get it as children, but we also were never taught to internally validate.
That's right.
We were
pat our own self on the back.
We were always taught this
hey, say, you know what? I am
validation,
great.
the external validation of what other people thought. We were never given the tools or the examples of, this is how you internally validate yourself in your life.
So here's an example. If I said to you, hey, you're amazing, what's your response?
Thank you.
Thank you. Instead of, yes, I am. Thank you for recognizing that.
I don't even know what to say to that, because
no, it's just you practicing to thank people for acknowledging what you already know.
And being okay that if that comes, because again, remember we talked last week about, think of other people first, you come last. To me, my initial is, wow, I'm really conceited.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, this is absolutely, because we've been trained that if you
don't talk about yourself
praise
like
yourself, if you acknowledge yourself, if you love yourself, that's conceited.
Yeah.
And in spirituality,
I haven't used that word in so long. It's like high school.
Yeah,
it's a good
exactly.
high school word.
Oh, you're conceited. Yeah. In spirituality, it's the opposite. In spirituality, it's you being conscious and present and acknowledging who you really are.
And it's interesting. I've had friends that when they validate themselves, I get a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, because you've been conditioned for so long that it's not appropriate, or it's not right, or it's not.
That's for me to say, not you.
That's right. That's right. And when you get to enlightenment, you start to go, you know what? I do love myself. I do accept myself. I am enough. The actions that I do are good enough, and if I do my best, that's good enough. And so you have to start accepting yourself and loving yourself more. And what happens is then you're able to see that in other people.
And that's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
To start to see that, and that's where compassion comes in.
And the other thing that's so amazing with that is as you do that work, other people see it and they mirror what you're doing.
Yeah. Wow. Practice that.
That's your homework,
Yeah.
and it's for your homework too. Those of you that are listening, it's your homework too to practice this week as people acknowledge you, to say, yes, I am. Thank you for noticing that.
You know, it's interesting because my daughter Robin, if I compliment her on something, not everything, but she's actually said, yes, I am. Thanks, Mom.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, but my response inside is,
You little.
really? Really?
Yeah.
But now,
Did you really just say that?
but now you can say, wow,
Wow.
that's inspiring. I want to be able to acknowledge myself like that as well.
Good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, stay tuned for more of the Unreality Show right here on your hometown station, KHTS Radio.